Greetings all, this is Hairy Nick. Wave 12/13 of X-Wing is going to release as of the recording of this video in 2 days, so before that happens, I wanted to make a quick video talking about what I think is going to be the most powerful upgrades that we're going to see from this release. Now, before we start, I'm going to say this is very much my own opinion. You guys may disagree, and if you do, say so in the comments and give an explanation as to why you think certain cards should be given more gravitas, or explain to me why you think the cards I'm talking about won't be powerful. Before I move on to these top 5 cards, I want to talk about just a few cards that we've been talking about during the past few weeks, particularly Maul and R5TK. These are cards I have made videos on, but these are not in the top 5 most powerful cards coming out in this wave, I feel. They're very interesting, they offer some new design space, they're splashy, they're going to have build-arounds, but I don't think they're going to be powerhouse cards. And even if they are, I think it's going to take a long time for the community to adapt to them. We may need more upcoming cards from different waves to make them and unlock them and get the full power out of them. But I just feel like at the moment they're not really going to push the top tier lists. 2 more cards I want to mention as well is the Ordnance Silos and OS1 Arsenal Loadout. The reason these guys are not in my top 5 is because they are ship specific, and there's no doubt about it that both of these cards are going to be absolute powerhouses. They both give the ship they sit on a lot of potential. It basically is, in my opinion, these cards are what push the ship over the edge in terms of power level. The Ordnance Silos, for example, with the Resistance Bomber, I think this is the card that actually makes the Resistance Bomber worth playing, if that makes any sense. And the Arsenal Loadout is just awesome. I don't necessarily think it's the only title you can take on the Assault Gunboat. Obviously, we also have the Cannon title. But on the back of this, being able to slam and shoot rockets or reload and shoot rockets or missiles or whatever is just nuts. It's going to be an insane card. But for the time being, let's take a look at this top 5. Now, I'm not going to present these in any particular order. They have different levels of application across different factions, different ships, but I'm going to start with the 2 that have very limited use, and the first of them is the Threat Tracker. This is a new tech upgrade, and it basically gives the most insane arc dodging capabilities to one ship in particular, the TIE Silencer. Costs 3 points when an enemy ship inside your firing arc at range 1 to 2 becomes the active ship during the combat phase. You may spend your target lock on that ship to perform a free boost or barrel roll action if that action is on your action bar. Now, there's no doubt that this works on the TIE Silencer because of fire control systems and because the ship has boost and barrel roll. This can obviously go on other ships like the T-70 X-Wing. It's going to be okay on that ship, but the fact of the matter is that ship can't take fire control systems and it can't barrel roll without a bit of tinkering around with the build. And for that reason, I don't think it's going to be super at home there, but it might actually be playable. But there is no doubt, on the TIE Silencer, this is going to be insane. And indeed, it's a card to look out for as more ships get revealed. Any 30 era ships with that tech slot can take it as long as it's a small ship. And then if we get ships with boost and barrel roll, if they can take fire control systems, it's always going to be something we look back on and say, okay, does the Threat Tracker go on this ship? The Resistance A-Wing, for example, might just be another ship that can take this and get a lot of value out of it, and I'm very excited to see where this goes in the future. The next card I want to talk about is Advanced Optics. Again, has pretty limited use, but it's going to get more powerful as more ships and more upgrade cards get revealed. There is one obvious use for this card, and that is on Poe Dameron. That's going to be insane. The card reads for 2 points. You cannot have more than one focus token. During the end phase, do not remove an unused focus token from your ship. There's no doubt about it. This on Poe Dameron is going to be insane. 2 points feels really pushed to me. It's a point less than the comm relay, and I honestly thought when we knew what this was going to do, but we couldn't see the squad point cost, it was going to be at least the same or more expensive. I feel like focus tokens are actually more relevant than invade tokens overall. They have more application across more ships, and it's going to be a great card on whatever takes it, but it's going to be particularly insane as a combo on Poe Dameron. And that's why the card's going to be awesome. I'd be very surprised if there wasn't ships in the future that want to take this card just because it has such a high power threshold. And I'd be very surprised if there weren't any more combo cards that go with this in the future. Next up, I want to talk about Contraband Cybernetics. This looks insane. As a Scum player, I look at this and go, this is going to be an amazing Hail Mary. Before your ship gets taken off the board, you're going to pop this, you're going to get stressed out, but you're not going to care. Indeed, there are some builds you can take on Scum which just don't care about stress too much. On, for example, 4 Kirax fighters with the Vaxi title, this is going to be amazing. Being able to just bury your ship under a mountain of stress tokens, you don't care, it's probably going to die anyway, and get target locks or focuses or barrel roll and get the perfect positioning. This card is going to be so powerful. I've talked about this on many different ships, but the ability to do this might just be the difference between your ship taking another ship off the board if used in the right situation. It's going to benefit better pilots. It's high risk, high reward. It's Scum to the core, and I just love this. And I gotta say, this probably is a very heavy bias. I know a lot of other people aren't talking about this as much as me, but with the kind of Scum builds that I personally make, I can see a lot of use out of this card, and I'm super excited. May not end up in the top tier lists, but I think it has a great chance of getting there. Next up, we have the Trajectory Simulator, and this is incredible. For 1 point, system slot. You may launch bombs using the 5 forward template instead of dropping them. You cannot launch bombs using the action header this way. Launch means you throw it forwards instead of backwards. And it says you may as well. It's a 1 point card, and it gives you more options as to where you throw your bombs. It's straight up better than Bombardier in a lot of ways. There are lots of cards that want bombs to be near your opponent. The Resistance Bomber plays around with that, using bombs in a more offensive manner. It's going to be great on Captain Nim, either version of Captain Nim. It's going to be great on the TIE Punisher. If we get other bombers in the future that have the system slot, it's pretty much going to be the card we always look at as the auto add if we have bombs that are dropped before you reveal the maneuver dial. And it's also worth noting it does combo with Genius, because this straight up replaces the action of dropping. Genius says you can drop a bomb after you move, and this says instead of dropping you can throw it 5 forward. So you can move your ship and then throw it 5 forward. If you take Genius with this on the Skirg Bomber with Captain Nim, that's just insane. It's just straight up excellent. And for a 1 point card, I feel like this is really, really pushed, and it's going to find a very permanent and safe home on a lot of bombing lists. Alright, the last card I want to talk about, and this I think is going to be the most powerful sleeper in the entire wave, is the Flight Assist Astromech. It's a 1 point astromech. You cannot attack ships outside your firing arc. After you execute a maneuver, if you did not overlap a ship or obstacle and there are no enemy ships inside your firing arc at range 1 to 3, you may perform a free boost or barrel roll action. This is nuts. Being able to boost or barrel roll for 1 point is just straight up incredible. It's generic. It can go on many ships. Sure, you have requirements, but if you do a build around that wants to get ships in arc, you do a build around that wants to just sink hits into your opponent, this is going to be incredible. It basically means you'll always get your shots, and if your ship is running away and it's not pointed at other ships, it's going to keep boosting to get away further and further and push out range. This is just nuts. This is crazy for 1 point. This card is so powerful. It has applications on the T-65 X-Wing. That ship wants this for days. In fact, I'm pretty confident in the near future we're going to see an X-Wing fixed pack that just has like straight up 4 copies of this card. No doubt about it. You only get 1 copy of this card in the Phantom 2 pack, and I think when an X-Wing fix does finally come around, it's going to have multiple copies of this card because you basically want multiples of this in generic X-Wing lists. The T-65 is going to love this. The T-70 is also going to love this. If you guys are familiar with the YouTube channel Sling Paint, one of the presenters there named Birdo has a famous list he's made called Birdo's Baby Blues. And that is 4 of the generic T-70 X-Wings with integrated Astromech and R2 Astromech. And I think this is a great replacement for R2 Astromech if indeed that's the way you want to play that list. If you want to make that list into a super aggro list, super action efficient list, this is going to be a card that's going to make that insane. I still like R2 Astromech in that list because of the 2 hard greens, but this is a different way of playing it, and I think it's going to be as viable, if not more viable. Another ship that this is just going to love is the BTLA-4 equipped Y-Wings. It already can't shoot out of arc. If you take it on the generic Gold Squadron with TLT and BTLA-4 title, it means you're going TLT, bang bang, primary, bang, 3 attacks every single turn. This card's going to mean you're going to get those attacks turn after turn after turn, sink red dice after red dice after red dice into your opponent. And this could just straight up be a better list than Thug Life. And I like that. I like the 4 of Y-Wing build that wants to shoot in arc because it's more about what X-Wing's about. I know a lot of people hate turret lists. Mike from Hell of a Pilot, if you're watching, I know that you're looking at this going, yes, get rid of TLTs, we're not liking them. But in this list, you want to get things in arc. The Y-Wings aren't super great at keeping things in arc, especially if they don't have green turns. But this is going to be a great way of doing that because you get boosts and barrel rolls. It's a jousting list. It's a jousting list with Y-Wings. I mean, that's just crazy. And I honestly look at this and go, yeah, this could be legit. This could be better than previous version of the 4x Y-Wing build. And I'm really excited for that. I am super pumped for the Flight Assist Astromech because it just makes these ships better jousters. It's getting back to pure dogfighting, which is what the game is all about. I've talked about this before, Guns for Hire, FAQ, and this new set of waves, Wave 12 and 13, is going to help the game get back to where it wants to be. Yeah, I know we're getting another bomber and people don't like that, and we're all salty about bombers getting back into the meta, but we're getting the TIE Silencer, we're getting the Flight Assist Astromech, we're getting great jousting tools across all the different factions, and that's just fantastic. And without a doubt, Flight Assist Astromech, in my mind, is the most powerful card coming out of this wave. If you disagree, guys, if you think another card's more powerful, say so in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts on this. But in any case, I'm super jazzed for these waves coming out. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe, like the Facebook page, and I will catch you later.